Happy Monday, or I guess Tuesday for a lot of you. Happy beginning of the week, I guess is a better way to say it. Hope you're all having a good one. Give me just a sec as I'm checking stream health. It looks like we're doing okay. I swapped the background out, and a couple other things I guess I should mention. Uh, it doesn't look like YouTube working well. Hold on. Let me check this. Okay, nope, we're good. We're good on YouTube. For those of you not in the Discord, minor update to the streaming schedule. I'm going to pop that on screen right now. Right now. So, ideally, going forward, this is going to be our regularly scheduled programming. So, Monday and Wednesday unaffected, keeping those the same at 7 p.m. PT, which is right now if you're watching live. If you're in the Discord, these times update to your local time zone. This is wrong. Oh no, I thought I said 2 days ago. Never mind. That's right. That's right. I had to redo this bit of the code, and I kind of messed it up a bit. But no, this is right. I thought this said 2 days ago. So Monday, Wednesday, unaffected. The end of the week stream. I'm moving to a time slot that's better for me, which is 11 a.m. Well, time slot that's better for most audience members. Which I can't do 11 a.m. on Friday, so I'm pushing it back a day, and that's gonna be kind of the new, like, depending on how it goes, the new main stream. I have a feeling that's when most people are gonna be available. That's when most people will just kind of have it on in the background and either do whatever it is that they do on the weekend or just sit back and watch. So we'll see how it goes. If you've been here for a while, you know that during the week I usually don't have as much energy. So hopefully the weekend stream is gonna kind of be the main event, and then Monday, Wednesday are just kind of filler. Those who want to tune in every so often. Hey, is your name? It's going pretty good for me. How about you? Good to see you again. Happy Monday. I'm just gonna say whatever date and time it is for me right now, because it's easier. Like good evening, and whatnot. So give me a sec. Hoden, one of the offline watchers, left a comment on last week's video. And we're going to pull that up. One sec. The blue buttons look disgusting, like really, really bad. Maybe you could do a fade in and fade out effect with the arrows. The blue and green is just a really bad combination. So let's, I guess, immediately jump into it and start taking a look. Hopefully this picks it up. Cool. One of the references I was kind of going with, and not really a reference, more of just like a style, was the Resident Evil 2 inventory screen. Resident Evil 2 1998 inventory. Let me copy this image. Throw this up on GIMP. So it also does kind of have that blue-green aesthetic. And so that's not to say that the blue-green aesthetic doesn't work. But I have a feeling maybe just the way that I went about it doesn't. Twitch chat, it's going decent. Try to get my Ace Sprite back from my other PC, but it decided not to work. I have to buy it again. Oh man. Is it like both Windows machines? Was it like the licensing or something didn't work, or Just the, the executable didn't run. I've definitely like hard copied a lot of files over when I went to this PC. Oh, look at the reflection. I just noticed that. On that material? It's really good. See, how does that actually look in-game? We don't seem to be lagging too badly either. I don't know what situation I would have walls this glossy, but honestly, that doesn't look too bad. Yeah, both windows. Oh, dang, that sucks. Sorry to hear that, man. I've been there before. Oop. Let's fix this. So, comparing this color combo to something like this, the green is definitely a lot more, like, faded. Like, it's less apparent, except for, like, the text here. But it's... So I wonder if... Because most of the background color here is blue, whereas on the other one that we're working on, it's green. I wonder if we swap it, like swap it so that the blue is a bit more faded. We can alternatively just go to a white color. Just like a gray background. So let's go ahead and do that. And if I remember from last time, I can just shift click these. Oh no, that's the images. I want the background color of the button. Something maybe a little bit more like that. And maybe even make it a little transparent. Hey OMS, how you doing? Happy Monday. Or Tuesday. What do we think? Odin, if you're watching the VOD, what do you think of the color here? The other thing that we're going to do tonight is we're going to fix some of the buttons. So you can see there, I clicked out twice. Realistically, when I'm in this zoomed out mode, the option to click out again shouldn't be there. Same thing with zooming in or clicking at the far left. So that should hopefully just be easy enough because I kind of have it indexed. The ideal way to do this would have been to use an enum, so an enumerator. Because here I'm just using numbers, like position 5, position 4. It would have been better if I just like had a list of variables and just called, you know, one of them dual screen right, and I just set that value to 5. But then I just plug dual screen right into this. And honestly, because we're doing this pretty, I don't know, we're pretty early on in this, it might not be a bad idea to do that now. So I need to remember how to make a variable here. There it is up there. So I have position. Numerator. I don't know if I want to make an enum just for that. I didn't know that you had to make it outside the blueprint, which isn't the worst thing. How do I... Is there no enum? Enum? They call it something different? Let me Google this. You're doing good? Glad to hear it. UE5 enum in EP. Hey, Maddie. Good evening. Hope you're having a good Monday. Enum in Blueprints represents a list. Right click, navigate to Blueprints and select enumeration. Okay. Was I spelling it wrong? Was I spelling it enum? Enum. Do I have to hover over this? I do. Okay, that's kind of annoying. There's probably a way to do it. Just call this screen. We'll call this for screen position. I will start it with an E that we know it's an enum. Enum for screen position. That way, it doesn't matter what's on the screen. If I have 4 screens, I'm gonna have the same amount of different camera positions with it. We're gonna pop this over here. How's the 1 hour of chores going? It's going honestly really well, Maddie. I've finished, I guess, tidying most stuff where it's like it's clean enough for company, right? To where if I had a guest over, they wouldn't notice the hidden clutter. Like even the closets and stuff look good, but like some drawers and stuff, especially in the the place where I'm streaming now, I have so many cables. I have like no joke, probably 20 or 30 like USB to micro USB cables. I just don't need that many. I don't know. And I don't know what to do with these things. I have a lot of stuff that, like, when I was going through clothes, it was easy enough to donate them. There's a lot of places nearby where you can just, there's a bin and you can throw it in there. But there aren't really things like that for just, like, toys and other just kind of random electronics. There are, like, a handful of Goodwills a ways away, but I feel like that's a little bit more of a process. I just want something simple. Just throw it in a bin and then someone else deals with it. Just chuck it. Yeah. Like depending on what it is, but just some things if someone else can get use out of it, I'd prefer not end up in the landfill if at all possible. But some things I definitely like just no one would get use out of it because buying a new one is so cheap. Ideally, yeah, exactly. So it's not like I'm gonna be like dead set disappointed if I can't repurpose something. I sent some references in game design for the screens. I'll take a look at that in just a sec. So, position. Actually, let's take a look at that now. Maybe it's gonna help me with what I'm doing, or at least give me some inspiration here. Ooh, from the game Split. Okay, they've got a little bit more of a border. I do like this. I don't know if I would like have these many actions up there, but this is very clean. Actually, it's more of a heart. Where's our purple? There it is. Thank you. Having Pastor over for dinner tomorrow, and you have to deep clean the kitchen and living room and fix a frame that broke. Oh no! Not hard, but just annoying. Yeah. That was the living room was the first thing I did when the new year rolled over. The living room and then the kitchen, cuz when I first moved in, it was all hand-me-down stuff. Like the rug that I had for my living room didn't match the aesthetic of anything else that I had in my apartment. And so finally I went to a secondhand store, bought a new, well, it's a new one, but like secondhand. Hard to explain. But then I liked it a lot more, and it's like, okay, well, if I want to swap out the rug, I might as well start with the living room and like vacuum the furniture and all that. New to yeah, exactly. It was clean. It was in good condition, so it's not like there wasn't like cat piss on it. So let me see if I can remember what our positions were. Because this is button click 2. Button click 2 is top. So let's start with button No, we'll start with button click 2. So if our position is okay, so 0 is the leftmost position. And 2 is okay, so it goes 0, 1, 2, and I'm guessing 3. So that's not the dual monitors. And I'm guessing 4 and 5 are the left and right dual monitors, respectively. So, screen 1. Screen 2. Screen 3. One day when we don't have dogs and kids, the dream is a leather couch. Ooh. Leather is nice except for the really hot days, especially if there's like indirect sun or it's in space, direct sunlight. Um, then it can just kind of absorb it and you stick to it. Screen dual 1. And then screen dual 2. Bit mask flags. Okay. One thing, if any of you are familiar with C++, there's almost immediately, you'll notice a limitation of this here, in that I can't manually assign what the enum value is. So it's always going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that's the integer value of this these names. In C++, and let's go ahead and open that up now. I forgot to do that when I started upstream. I could just say, rather than starting at 0, start at 1. Because maybe that's just whatever notation I wanted to use. Or even I could do like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then let's say I want to skip 5 and 6. And I can say screen dual 1 equals 7, and then from there it keeps going. And so let's get this. And I used an enum here for the rooms. So this is how I defined it. This is the name. So you saw I did E and then 4 screen positions. Int is just the data type. So by default, I think the one that I just made is an enumeration of integers. But I can also just make an enumeration of different types of things. I don't know how it would resolve like non-numerical things, or if it'll even let you do that, or if like you have to override it. It's been a while since I've tried something like that. But here I could do room null equals -1, and then this is now 0. Or I could start this at like 2, and then down here maybe I want this to be a 5. Actually, I don't know if it'd let me do that. Okay, the compiler might complain, because 3, 4, 5, this is also 5. Go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then back to 5. This would be better if it was like 15 or something. But anyway, that's just the general idea of it. Mostly it's just used for making it easier to read whatever you're working with. So here I'm using a bunch of numbers. If I want to come back on this months from now, and I might have a harder time figuring this out than just using an enumerator. We're going to pop an enum here now. E4 screens. Catch up on chat messages. It's been negative 30. I need all the blankets. What's the current project? So we're gonna fix some of the issues with the buttons. Oops, that's the wrong one. So like when I'm on the far left screen, this button should hide because pressing it doesn't do anything. And then when I'm on the far right, or like when I'm all the way backed out, or when I'm all the way zoomed in, these buttons should go away. Just to indicate that, I don't know, just kind of, it's a nuisance, but I might as well fix that now. So how does this work here? Since some, started playing Routine, absolutely terrifying game. Routine. 2025, developed by Lunar Software and published by Rothier. Set on a lunar base, the story follows an unnamed protagonist unraveling a mysterious incident that led to the base's decline. Looks spooky. First impressions, kind of Alien Isolation vibe, but then there's also, like, looks like the android is the big bad. Huh. Cool. Okay. How do I get this? Do I just do, like, get? I need to... So let me just, I guess, first show you how I'm used to using this. I think in our hunter character. So here's one. I made an enumeration of our different behavior traits. And so when I want to use it later on, these are just numbers, but in a form that is easy enough for me to recognize and read. But then here they are, and I can call them like this later on. I'm trying to essentially figure out how to just pull the number out of this. So maybe I have to type screen set. Alright, I need to Google this, I think. I want images. Don't show me words. So I do have to use set? Setting an enum from BP convenient drop-down list. Is this a plugin? I don't know why it's like this. Oh, you think the schedule has AM and PM mixed around? It says today the stream is in 10 p.m. when it's 10 a.m. for you. Oh, oh. Someone reacted to French fries on your image and I realized it was you. Let's see. Uh, stream. It says that today's 10 a.m. Oh, it says that today's 10 p.m., but it's 10 a.m. for you right now. That's weird. Because to me, this helps, like, this, how many minutes ago helps me figure out that, oh, yeah, that was the right time. Unless you're talking about this one, the Saturday one, in which case that's correct. It's in the morning that it's starting, not in the afternoon. Or, I guess, evening. Give me a sec while I try to figure out these enumerator. Can I not just like pull a value out and just reference it by its name instead of... If not, this is kind of pointless and is overcomplicated. Because I could also just do this. Right? Make a you know, a bunch of ints. Screen position 1. Make this just an integer. And then make its default 0, like that. Ah, I hit F1 on accident. That opens up the documentation. If anyone watching knows, like, maybe I'm just using enums the wrong way for blueprints. If maybe you have more knowledge on kind of what it's used for a little bit more often, and are willing to share, screen dual position 1. Dual, oh, I didn't copy it. I wanted to avoid just having a whole list here and then, like, instead just have the list be here, but, you know, whatever. It's not the end of the world. Who's using it? Sent a screenshot general. Hey, Blue, how you doing? Time bug. It is currently 10:29 a.m. Oh, that is weird. The 23 minutes ago. Huh. Because the countdown works. But let me just send the screenshot for me. Um, FYI. Yeah, that's weird. Narrator, and now we will watch the coder in his natural environment, stalking his prey, the elusive node through the spaghetti fields. Yeah, turning cog. I was just battling against how blueprints handle enumerators, and I don't like it. And so I gave up trying to do it. You're just here for the struggle, thank you. Doing great, but hungry. Loki want to make fries, but it's too cold to be outside frying stuff. Do you have to go outside to fry things? Can't you just like get a pot on a stove? Maybe I'm spoiled, and I have inside stove pot. But yeah, like I tried to. I mean, because here what I did is I made 6 integer values, and I manually set the default value, and I'm just not changing them. But I made an enumerator like in BP, but it didn't function the way I would have expected it to. Like, and I'm willing to admit that maybe it's a skill issue, right? Fully aware, but it's just at least out of the box, it wasn't super intuitive to me. Fries are worth in minus 90 degrees. Bro, that sounds hacky as hell. So, yeah, I mean, I deleted it, but let me just pull up an enum here. Actually, let me do this, because I think it exists already. Like, I can just give it a new, just random enum. Hmm. Sure. Right? So boom, there's my enum. But what if I just like want to set a specific like index 1 of the enum and just throw it in there? I can't like just get a part of it. And I tried like calling its name because ultimately I'm doing this because rather than throwing a 0 in there, I want it to be readable. So I can be like, "Oh, when this path gets hit, it's going to screen position 1." But then if I have to like do all of this kind of workaround just to get, you know, the value for screen position 1 in the enum, then it kind of defeats the purpose. I get that the engine acts like a manic pixie girlfriend, so I don't blame you. At least I'm not alone. You could try baking. Yeah, but it makes the house stink. Oh, you know what? Respect. Fair enough. Fair enough. You have an air fryer? Oh, yeah. That is the best way to make fries. Screen position 2 is you. Well, the number 2 is you. You are actually screen position 3. Man, I hope I don't mess this up because then I'm gonna like I've already forgotten what numbers were what. And it's gonna be real awkward to try to fix that. No, we can get rid of this too. Dual position. At some point, I'll clean this up. One thing I saw with Unreal Engine that I did before is that you can unspaghetti the spaghetti. You can make it straight lines. It's like an option. And I don't know which I would like more. Because I feel like the spaghetti's just kind of gross. You're gonna make so many fries. We had mini corn dogs the other day. They were fantastic. You didn't share? I'm with Blue on this one. Team Spaghetti. Y'all have a favorite type of pasta? Or how about this? What's your favorite thing to air fry? Or, you know what? Both. Answer both questions. We're in for the long haul. Spirals. Yeah, those are pretty good. I like the shell ones. Especially like with like the white cheese. I forgot what it's called. I don't know if it's mozzarella. It's like the cheddar mac and cheese with like the shells. Because then like they hold the cheese inside them. No, not Alfredo. I was thinking just like the cheddar sauce. Not Velveeta. Velveeta is... this might be an unpopular opinion. I do not like Velveeta. It is a cheese product. It is an abomination to cheese. You love Velveeta. I'm so sorry for you. Shells and air fryer chicken pot pies. Ooh, that sounds good. Leave my plastic cheese alone. It doesn't melt. Do you guys ever have the cheese in a can? But like it's in a spray bottle. So it's even better. You know, like you were supposed to spray it on crackers. The FDA saw that and they were like, yeah, I don't see a problem with that. Okay. I think this is mostly okay. I probably messed up a couple times. Because I probably saw the number 3 and then grabbed screen 3. Without thinking about it. Do you guys like brie cheese? I gotta Google what that is, because I don't remember. You can cheese, yeah. Oh, I missed a lot of YouTube comments. Favorite pasta is bow tie. My favorite thing to do is air fry dino nuggets. I don't care if I'm turning 50. Dino nuggies are pretty good. You can put that on some chicken biscuit cracker. American food isn't real, you know that. Oh, this is brie cheese. Hold on, let me take a screenshot of just this whole page. I don't know which of these is the most brie, and I don't want to misrepresent it. What the heck? There's a cheese.com? Actually, this looks like the most brie type of cheese. We'll show this one. What is cheese.com? Hold on. Well, let's one thing at a time. Let's show the cheese. That's brie cheese. All right. What is cheese.com? What is this majestic site? Alphabetical? Find over 2,046 specialty cheeses from 74 countries in the world. What? Who uses this? Who needs that much cheese? Latest blog posts. Oh, this is a whole thing. How to write an essay on the history of cheese making. Huh. You're on the internet. No matter what side you pick, people are gonna argue about food. Also, craft singles are not cheese, or plastic, not cheese. Respect. Local to me, there are cheese caves. Oh, I wouldn't eat that. I don't know if I would eat the cheese cave. Best site ever. Yeah. You did hear Dino Nuggies correctly, Diablo. Yep, Diablo Girl 48. Also, hello. Hope you're having a good night. People who love cheese. I need that much cheese. Also, if anyone here is just joining, this is a software development stream. I'm sorry to disappoint you. As I peel back the curtain, I take the cheese away from the audience, and instead we see numbers on the screen. It's temp-controlled storage for cheese. It's not like the... Oh, I thought it was just like a cave that looked like cheese. And people were like, oh, this looks like cheese. We'll call it the cheese cave. Kind of like the Nutty Putty cave. You know? The cheese cave probably has a happier history to it. Okay, I miscounted somewhere. I messed up. So when I'm going to the right, it doesn't go far right enough. And so that's click button 0. Is you. So, aha! I know it. Be screen position 4. And I think I messed that up on all of these. Great. Oh, I realized there's been no music this whole time. Let's turn that up. Sorry about that. I've been listening to it. It's also, like, not it's just kind of just, it's Lo-Fi Girl. So it's not like y'all missed all too much. It is good, but it's just more ambiance than anything. If you did 3 cheese a week, it would take you 13 years to get through that list. Yeah, math. See, that's why they taught us math in high school. And the one before that. Not anymore, it's about software, it's about cheese. Oh no. We need you to program some cheese into the game. Bonus points for Dino Nuggies. If we can feed the monster cheese in Dino Nuggies, that would be peak gameplay. We're gonna write that down. So if any of you are, like, absolutely new here, one of the core gimmicks of this game is that there's a lot of different behaviors that the monsters will exhibit. You are a data analyst, but rather than studying, like, new animals for the first time, like a biologist would, you're studying, like, these demon creatures as if they are animals. And so we were kind of just coming up with a whole bunch of different types of behaviors. Some of them are intimidating, right? Where if it sees the player, it'll stop moving as long as the player's in its sight, which is kind of the opposite of what, like, Coilhead does. But cheese, what do we want it to do with cheese? If we can feed the monster cheese and Dino Nuggies, leaving a plate of cheese will, what should it do with the cheese? Kill or no kill? What if it's lactose intolerant, but it likes cheese? So it just eats the cheese anyway. Leaving a plate of cheese will... Oh, I typed will twice. Will it be repealed? If it is repealed by the Dino Nuggies, the monster needs to be dealt with. What do you mean by repealed? Is that a big college level word that I'm too smooth brain to remember. What will the cheese do to the monster? Because it's like, I don't know, I feel like it running to the nearest bathroom is a little bit too on the nose. I also don't know, like, what does lactose intolerance do? Does it just make you repel? Oh, repel. That word. Oh, how about just it'll just self-isolate. Oh, hey, Raph. Lactose intolerant cheese and Dino Nugget addiction. Will when a plate of cheese is left behind, I still don't know what I'm calling these guys yet, so we're just gonna put some stars in place. Will self-isolate for X period of time. When eating Dino Nuggies. The more it consumes, the slower it shall be. This effect is doubled if it is also provided ketchup. Or ranch. It can make you sick or just give you the poops. Gotcha. So I think the self-isolation works. Lactose intolerant cheese and Dino Nugget addicted demon. Yes, yes, yes. If the monster eats too much sick, he'll have big time stomach ache and get aggravated. Like, be mad at the player for hurting him with cheese. Well, it is kind of the monster's fault. It's like, if you leave a, you know, chocolate out for a dog, it's not like the dog's gonna get mad at you. The dog example is sad. Let's use coyote instead, because I feel less bad about a coyote. The coyote's not gonna blame you for feeding it chocolate. It's not gonna know what's killing it. Godot 4.6 just released, and Terraria 1.4.5 is about to release. I need to get back on Terraria. I love that game. Oh, how fun is this? Lactose intolerance makes so your stomach is all messed up if you consume lactose. Can we tame a monster as a temp follower and be able to freely move among its people for a short time? That's not a bad idea. Because currently I'm only anticipating one monster per level, but I don't want to write myself into a corner by forcing that to always be true. So, what's like a single word I can use for that? Besides amugas. Like you walk among them. Monsters can be appeased, maybe. I don't know if that's how you spell the appeased. Game of the year material? Thank you, thank you. Rada looking quite different since the last time you saw it. Yeah, it's just a notepad. We're writing down cheese facts, actually. You're off to sleep, excited to see how the cheese factor's in. It'll be a while before the cheese mechanic is fully fleshed out, pun intended. Cheese is made with flesh, right? But make no mistake, when it is done, it'll be glorious. My internet's telling me it's past your bedtime, so you're gonna go play video games until the birds start chirping. You have a good one, Raph. Thank you for dropping by. I appreciate it. I think we got something done. Let's see. Okay. 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 So cool. We didn't fix the initial problem, but I replaced the enumerations. Right? I replaced the magic numbers with words. Because I can read words better. Okay, so now all we need to do is if screen position is ever 0, button is a variable, needs to be set to invisible. So screen position 1, that button, that visibility, hidden. I wonder if there's a what kind of cheese are you quiz out there. Oh, you know, BuzzFeed had like an entire decade where they just did nothing but pump those out. Recta 42 screenshot. Is that a global one? Oh, I don't think so. Nah. Looking at the emotes on Twitch. For those of you on YouTube. Alright. The issue is, when we go to the right one, or if we go back... So it's not just when it's 0. When it's 4, we also want it to go away. So... Screen dual position 1 is actually what I meant to say. Actually, you know what? Rather than like trying to figure out the logic, let's just make something reusable and then have all of these call it as soon as it's updated. So we are going to make a, not an event dispatch. Nobu made a bunch of them for people a while back. Ooh, sick. There's a lot of cool Twitch things I just don't know how to do. I know a lot of people have like 7TV emotes, but obviously that's not what this is because I'm not using 7TV. That's cool. I mean, I've got some special emotes too that I acquired over where are they? They're obviously not like my channel emotes. Ones that I happen to just stumble across. Where are they? Oh, I guess not. Oh, I have one apparently though. Rendalol. What does that one look like? Sick. Okay, functions, that's what I wanted to do. We're gonna make a new one. We're gonna call this update button. Can I get all these at once? No, I cannot shift click. Okay, time to use my logic brain to simplify this as much as I can. So if I'm on screen 1 or screen 4, I want button 0 to be gone. If I'm on screen 1, I want top button to be gone. Or if I'm on screen... Oh, I don't like this. Maybe someone big brain... You know what? Homework for any VOD watchers that can pause the video and come up with something nice. Git. Switch. Let me just do one of these. Set visibility. And we're just gonna hammer away at this the old-fashioned way. That's button. Clearly see I've done this in a very smart order. Okay. I should have... Wait, is it too late to rename these? Button left. Button top. Button right. Button bottom. Oh, look how clean that is. Okay. This is the plan. I just do this 5 times. 6 times. So position 0, we want the top button gone, and we want the left button gone. Position 1 is the screen to the right, so we want the left button visible and the right button visible, but we still want the top button gone. We're not zoomed in. And I'm pretty sure screen position 2 is the same. And then screen position 3 is the far right screen. So button left is visible, right is not visible. Bottom is still visible, top is not visible because we can't zoom in anymore. And then we have the zoomed out on the left, where left is hidden, right is visible, bottom is hidden, top is visible. And then we have the one just to the right of that. Where left is visible, right is hidden, bottom is hidden, top is visible. Back here, grab this. And what are you? Set controller. I don't remember why I did that. Oh, I think it was for the UI stuff. Are you building a centipede? Yes. What do you think of it? So, my homework for all of you VOD watchers. If there's an easier way than doing this matrix, Like, maybe there's some, like, smart, logical way to where I can reduce this by a certain amount. Let me know. I'd appreciate that. Well, let's see if it works. Ooh. Okay. So it does, but not when I initially, started. So what I need to do is have it on... Is there like a construction? Here we go. Event construct, position, set to position 0, and then update buttons. There we go. So if I'm on this screen and I back out, and then I go back in, it takes me to the screen I was at before. Wait, does it? No. Oh, wait. Was it doing that and I just wasn't paying attention? Oh no, it's because the Ooh. Okay, I think I can fix that to where I can keep the... I just do this. Because I guess it constructs it multiple times. Even though it's preserving the position value. Nope, that's not what was happening. So here, it thinks I'm screen position 1. Oh, it's because of the camera. It didn't move the camera back. Because this is just the UI. This isn't the blueprint, which is this one. Which is why it's behaving differently. If we do update buttons, and then move camera, so if we do this... if anyone has feedback on should the screens, if you leave and go back to the screen you were just looking at, or should it reset you back to that first far left screen? I would assume the screen you were looking at. The only time where I think it might be annoying is like if you're looking at this screen, like this one, you go off and you go do something else, and then like later you come back, and then you're on this screen. It's a nuisance maybe at most. It's so lonely here. I miss my friends. I'm still here. Also, my fix did not work. It still is tracking the wrong screen. Oh, what the? Oh, do we not have controller at this point? So I think what we probably have to do is not do this at construct, but do this when we get the controller. Back to the one you're looking at. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Okay, so no. That does even less of what I wanted it to do. But help realize where you left off. That's kind of what I was thinking also. Or better, the one that you're looking at when you're standing. Ooh. Okay. Well, let's think. Because I could give these guys different hitboxes. And then just have it be that. So do we think... Let's dissect this. If you're walking up to this, would it be more helpful to just click on this bigger, bulkier object anywhere and then kind of get taken back to where you were? Or is it better to go up and like kind of position yourself to click on the monitor you want to start on? Because I think, like, intuitively, players would probably expect it to start you on the screen that you were standing closest to or that you clicked on. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it feels better than taking you back to the screen you were at last time. So, and this will hopefully be easy enough to change if we want to go back and forth on it, if people watching offline have comments too. Let's at least get one of those working. I don't know why this move camera... Oh, it's because our position is getting set back to 0. So this would be... I would have to have the blueprint store the position if we did it this way. Go back to this. Which might not be the worst idea anyway. Position. Here. Gonna have to change the definition of this. No. Yeah, that could work. That could work. You can have an animation of you sitting down and seeing all 4 screens, and then you can select which one you want, then switch between the others. The thing that I worry about with that is it might be a nuisance step. Because seeing all 4 screens at once, we imagine... Well, let's start the game. It would look something like this. Oh, maybe. I was expecting this to be a lot more difficult to look at. Because I was going to say, there's not a lot of, like, usefulness out of seeing all 4 at once, because each one is so small. But maybe. Do we... Okay. I guess new question then. Do we want it to where it always pops you off at the 4 screens? Because The downside to this is if you step off and want to come back, you have to go through this again and then click the appropriate screen. I'm also thinking maybe this is just a good viewpoint to have anyway. Because the idea is these two are for cataloging the like monster information and whatnot. This one is a map of the current level. The other one is like live CCTV footage. So I don't know how often you would want... Oh, maybe. Being able to watch what it's doing live and then scrolling through its behavior list at the same time. Let's see that in action. Let's get back into our body here. Because if I zoom out, and if I'm watching something here, and then I have to go here to like add it, I would also have to make sure that I don't have too many buttons this close to the side of the screen, because the curvature messes with it a little bit. I mean, I like player choice. If players don't want to see all four screens at once, or I guess if players want to see all four screens at once, it might be good to let them do that. We would then just have to kind of figure out what is the ideal position. It doesn't give me the preview here. So we'll copy this current location. I wish I could get like the middle of these two perfectly. I'm trying to think like if I make it a parent, or if I make a parent actor, drop it like temporarily into the hierarchy. But that's not going to center it though. I might just kind of have to eyeball it. Or I can just like take these values here. So this minus this. And I could probably even... just do the math directly in here. Ah, oh, shoot. I did the wrong ones. Oh, it would just be this divided by 2. It's even easier. No. Come on. Oh, it's because that's not where its center is. Okay. These ones are centered, though. So it would be this one minus this one. Copy this again so we can put it back easily enough. Oh, come on. I think I'm being nitpicky about the monitor, but if it were me, the monitors would all be different shapes and sizes. So one is a giant box, the other is a tiny TV on top, and then 2 to the side. Huh. Hello, Ren. Still going for it tonight. Good job. Yes, I am still alive and we're still going. Good to see you, Nibble. Having multiple different sizes I don't think is a bad idea. I think on the train that might be a good call. I'm just trying to think, like, I don't know if any of the content on the screens warrants any of them being lower priority than the others. And so I would want them all to be the same size. Like, yeah, I could have it to where when it zooms in, it's like as the player sees it the same size. So not writing that off completely, because I do like the aesthetic of that a little bit more. I agree with you. Honestly, that's what my setup is now. I have 2 monitors that are the same size. To the right of those 2 is a much smaller one I got at like a yard sale. And then on top, on a swivel arm, is like a 10-inch, just like LCD TV that I don't remember where I got, but I almost exclusively just use that either for chat or right now it's where lo-fi is playing. Oh, okay. I don't know why that decided to open up. How do I do this math good? Oh, your boy is stupid. Oh, your boy is stupid. I needed to subtract and then divide by 2. This minus this, that, then divide by 2. There. No! Hold on. I'm an engineer. I can figure this out. If this point, I want the middle. So yeah, wouldn't that be like half of this? This would be like right here, which is 72, which is half a... No. Oh, it should be plus. It should be plus. It should be plus. Yes! We just have to zoom this out enough where we can see all four. What we're working on? We're trying to get the cameras working well with the monitors. So like, specifically kind of fine-tuning the rough edges of the camera movement. Okay. Caught up with chat. I'm locked in. I had to do like 5th grader level math. Okay. Add arrow. Call this screen all. We were talking about cheese for quite a long time, yeah. It went really well, Nibble. I was talking about this with Maddie earlier. A lot of like, I would say it's clean enough for company, but if you open up too many cabinets, you'll find there's like 20 or 30 USB to micro USB cables that just don't have a home. You did miss the cheese talk, yeah. I mean, we still have the pictures and the remnants of it on GIMP. Look at that. Oh, company. Yeah. Lethal company, you could call it. So the issue with this is now I need like a new index, I think, to move camera. Yeah, here it is. If there's a room I dread cleaning and organizing, that was either the like my bedroom closet or the place where I'm in now with like my streaming setup. Just because like these are the two locations where I just would drop anything and everything. Like I have so many just like random game knickknacks. Like I've got a little figurine of like Resident Evil characters. I have like amiibos and just so much crap where it's like, well, I don't really need this, and I don't really have a home for it right now. So what do I do? But you know, I made it work. I have a. I'll be honest. I moved a lot of crap just somewhere else out of sight. So It's a problem for future me to deal with. But today, just looking around, it all looks nice and neat. As long as I just don't think about where I threw the rest of it, it's all fine. Lethal Company was a good one. I think Lethal Company was more fun, at least to watch, than Repo. Maybe it's because by Repo, I already kind of understood the loop. But I think the atmosphere of Lethal Company was a lot more intimidating. And I think that led to the game being a lot more fun, at least as a viewer. I felt like the monsters were really well done. And the gameplay, I think, was a lot quicker, because with Repo, you have to spend a long time moving stuff, which is the core gameplay mechanic, right? That's why people differentiate it. That's why they feel like two different games, even though they're super similar. So set controller. So we want a new position. We're going to call this screen quad position 1. And this is going to be indexed 6. Do I have a man house, like a mattress on the floor with just a computer? I did for some time. Make no mistake, the only reason I have a bed frame now is because my brother gave me one. I am more than happy to sleep on the floor. That's also how I got my my table that I eat food on. You've been sick for so long, you have zero energy to do anything, plus I'm perpetually stuck in burnout. Ooh, I'm sorry to hear that, Blue. Hope things get better. I mean, I was kind of the same way, definitely before the turn of the new year. And it's like, well, what I would do is I would procrastinate and tell myself, okay, on Saturday and Sunday, I'll get at least a couple of things done. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I would just be like, well, it's the weekend. I'm not working. I just want to rest. And I would get nothing done. And so the new habit that I was trying to form, which I've talked to you all about, is I'm already uncomfortable during the week. If I'm just uncomfortable for like an hour more each day to do something productive an hour more each day, then come the weekend, if I decide I don't want to do anything, that's fine. Because I already spent 5 hours worth of being productive at home throughout the week. Looking over at Twitch, yeah, I agree. Repo was good. It's funny, but not spooky. Repo is very funny, especially the mouth movements. I like the characters more. Dude, that's your mattress on the floor with mini fridge and PC. Ooh, mini fridge is nice. That's a nice touch. There's a broken record player right next to me too. I've got a working record player. My dad had a massive collection of records, and I'm still going through them. It's like multiple bookshelves worth that I have now. And so it's crazy because it's like, I'll put one in. I don't recognize the band because I'm not good with music, and I'm like, what songs are these? And then the very last song of the track, it's like, oh, I recognize this one. This is Don't You Love Me, Baby. I'd be scared for him if his setup was just a computer on the floor. No, at least my computer setup is okay. Well, it's a lot of wires, but I'm also not too inclined to get good cable management because I'm still just renting. And good cable management is like very well thought out, and I don't really want to do that. Oh man, sorry to hear that, Blue. Hopefully you're on like the up and up. Hopefully you're recovering. I don't know. Does this like automatic? Oh no, it's not going to automatically. So we need another. If we push the bottom button again, I think we just need extra logic here. To where if it's dual position 1, pretty much just this. And this is gonna potentially get messy. Something like this probably would have looked nicer in C++, just because you can organize all of these if statements in a very compact way. But I feel like there's not a lot of value in making a whole class just for this one thing. We'll see. I mean, this isn't the most complicated logic to recreate if it gets bigger and bigger, but I don't imagine this getting too much more complicated than now. Okay, you're doing better now. Glad to hear it. The mini fridge is completely empty. Currently, I got to stock up on some soda. I remember one time I had a mini fridge, and I was like, oh, I'm going to put a sandwich in here I didn't finish. And then I forgot about it. And to make it worse, I'm like, oh, I'm not using this mini fridge. It's wasting energy. I might as well just unplug it. I didn't check to see if there was anything in the mini fridge. And then, like, a year later, I'm like, you know what? I think it's time to use this mini fridge again. And so I open it up. I don't know if I have the photo still, and I don't know if you guys would even want to see it. Hold on. It was like one of the very first photos I'd ever taken on my phone, I think. Let's see. You want to see it. Okay, you do want to see it. Okay. I'm warning you. Okay, for those of you who don't want to, I will tell you when it's on the screen, and I will tell you when it is off the screen, okay? Give me just a sec. I have to send it from my phone to my computer. Granted, this is like early high school me. I make no such mistakes nowadays. I am simply always on top of things 24/7. But even the mighty, such as myself, have moments of weakness. The sandwich has the mind of its own at that point. Okay, so I just sent it to my computer, and then now I have to go to Discord to grab it. One sec. My copy paste didn't work. I have to go get it again. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, the new wallpaper. I'm gonna try to find the artist name, but there was like 4 of these by different users, and so I don't know who the real artist is. So by next stream, I'll hopefully have found it. Okay, the sandwich is going on the screen now, so I will tell you when it is off the screen. Okay. That's the sandwich. I took 2 photos of it. This one doesn't look as bad. But this one, like, it's unrecognizable. It looks like it's covered in spider web. Let me get the year on this so that y'all don't think this is me now. This was 2012. This was in 2012. So yeah, that was the sandwich epidemic. You're a gross person. No! Okay, it is off the screen. The sandwich has been contained. SCP containment has been achieved. That looks like blue cheese. Don't tell me that. You're not getting any company. See, that's actually how I just keep people away. I have those photos printed on my door. I don't get any solicitors. 2012. It's not like that was my entire lifestyle. It was just moldy sandwiches. I just forgot it. It was in the fridge. I was like, I'm not using this, so it was just, it was just chilling. Okay, how does this math work? It's your lifestyle. Stop lying. So we're in. If we're in this dual position and we press the bottom button, we want our camera to be set to the all position. And then from here, we can do this. Else, we do this. And that should be all we need. Or at least this bottom button. We'll have to update the update buttons in a sec. Now for the top button. We shouldn't have to update left or right because this if statement will catch it because it's neither dual position or position 1 or position 4. This top button though, we do want to add a new condition that checks if it's in either of those dual positions. No, top zooms in. So if I'm in quad position, oh, and I didn't update these two, I probably should have. What kind of sandwich was it? I think it was turkey. Did you not tell? Why does it look so charred? Did it taste good? I mean, yeah, you could see the bite marks out of it. was turkey. It's an abomination. Let this be a reminder to you now. Clean out your fridge. Go do it. Do it now. If it's neither of those, we continue as per usual. Otherwise, we'll set our position to screen position 1. What I might want to do, we'll expand on this probably next time, is rather than having the arrow be there for screen position 1, we can also have it to where they can click on the screen they want. Maybe. That might not work because then they might accidentally click on the content of the screen rather than the camera switcher itself. Okay, so I think that'll cover us for this. And now we need to update the update buttons function. So when we're on 4 and 5, which are these two, we can still go bottom one more time. When we're here, we can't go left, can't go right. We can't go bottom, but we can still go forward. I think that's all that needed to be done. That did not do what I was hoping it would. Okay, well that worked. I was hoping it would start us on the 4 screen. I think that's an issue. This position default to 6. There we go. Nah, clean your fridge. That's on my list of things to do. Don't worry, it won't get bad this time. Oh, we don't have that problem? Okay. That's what you say. That's what everybody says. Until you have the problem one time over a decade and a half ago. And suddenly you're known as the sandwich moldy guy. You have questions about my design process, but all good if it's maybe getting late. Oh, what's the question? How long is the stream planned to be? The last couple streams are shorter, probably about 2 hours. So there's probably like 15 minutes remaining in this one. At this point, it's probably going to be a little bit more just yap as we kind of wind down the night. The Saturday stream, we'll have to wait and see. During the week, I obviously have a lot less energy because I've been working all day. We'll see how I feel the Saturday morning. I do like this though. It might be a good idea to not let the players like click on a screen, so that way they can still like access the buttons on the monitor themselves. And I forgot who it was. I think it might have been Hoden that said potentially replace some of these arrows with WASD if players wanted to. only downside to that is WASD is tied to exiting because it's tied to character movement. And my thought process is if a player is in a screen or a menu, I don't want them to get stuck in that menu if they're being chased by something and they want to run. With the intention being is if you're sitting, you know, let's say at your desk and something's behind you, you're not going to log out of Windows before turning around and running. The minute you start to run, it doesn't matter what was on that screen, it just boots you out. So that's kind of my thought process here. The Saturday stream will actually be a time that I'm at least 40% awake. Are you sleepy right now? I think the Saturday stream works well for a lot of folk, at least according to the YouTube analytics we looked at last time. Okay, so stupid question, how do you start? It seems kind of overwhelming with all of the elements. Blue, you need to make Ren's character in your project. No, you don't. It is overwhelming, because I overscoped from the jump. Realistically, I just kind of started with the core ideas. Oh, geez. And then nailed, or I guess, kind of narrowed down more and more of what I wanted it to be. Because I started off with, you know, we'll go through the full process here and we'll reduce this. I loved Phasmo. And a lot of what Phasmo did was there was the ghost investigation stuff. And as the game got more difficult, there were like super unique things that only certain ghosts would do. And at a certain difficulty, you had to like really hammer down some of those unique traits exclusive to that one ghost. A good example is like, for, I think, like the Onryo. If you have a crucifix down, or you have a candle, if it blows out the candle 3 times and it starts hunting, like, that's only something an Onryo will do. Or like ridiculous things like that. I think technically that was wrong. And then something like Lethal Company had come out. And I've always also been a fan of Resident Evil. And so I was like, okay, I want to make something unique. I want to make something fun. How can I kind of fuse these together? But more specifically, what if each of these projects work? And what if each of these projects work when they're kind of put together? So with Lethal Company, a lot of why it worked is it was easy to just jump in, quickly play something, and get out. You didn't need to know all of that many, like, rules. A new player could just boot it up and play without doing too much. So a good learning curve. Learning curve. Something quick. Resident Evil, very puzzle focused, very exploration heavy. But not just like empty exploration like we see with a lot of procedurally generated, but very like designed, intentional exploration and puzzles. And Phasmophobia kind of added depth to the complication, or the complicated mechanics, to where at the beginning it was simple, but as the difficulty increased, the more nuanced each thing you had to study about the ghosts were. And before I continue, let me make sure I catch up on chat. We're actually brainstorming the shower. It started with Phasmo, and then when Lethal Company was getting more and more popular, I was like, okay, I really want to make a game, and this game is kind of spurring on a lot of those ideas. And so I was like, okay, how can I kind of blend these together? And I talked about this a little bit here, but kind of more so pulling all of these together into what we have now. The idea is that the player's in a mansion, very Resident Evil style mansion. So that's the first one, where the environment itself is very explicitly designed, but still random, still replayable. And that's kind of how we have the level generator with the Tetris pieces. Nibble, were you here where we talked about all of that? To where it's like, each room is crafted by me by hand, but I have a very, I guess, constrained algorithm that places these handcrafted rooms in a way that can be done over and over again in different iterations. I think Blueprints does something similar, but the player kind of takes over it. And so, essentially, it's just procedural generation with handcrafted rooms and a huge subset of them with a lot of constraints. Like, all of these rooms have to fit together in a rectangle like this, so that the players can seamlessly move inside and outside without a loading screen. And if a player is standing outside and a player is standing inside, they can see each other through the window. Which means I need the walls to form something that looks from the exterior like something believably to be a mansion. So that's kind of like the environmental part, the Resident Evil part. The next part is the complicated game mechanics. And we talked about that a little bit already tonight when we looked at the all of these different traits. And the idea is, okay, at the beginning of the game, you have something simple. Like, maybe it will flee rooms that have light sources in them, or it won't. And that's the only thing you need to figure out. And your screen won't be populated with anything else except something that hints at that. And that's going to be on me to make a good tutorial that explains that well enough. And that's one of the things I want to get done by June. To where, when you're on this screen, a lot of this page will be blank. It might have the description filled out, it might have details about it, but then this will say empty. And on this, you will have maybe one or two. And it says, will flee rooms with light sources, or maybe the antithesis of that, it will not flee rooms with light sources. And so, from here, you only have one thing to interact with. You can click it, add it, and you can see it gets moved onto here. And then from there, it's like, okay, well, is that true or not? Well, let's go investigate. Let's go interact with the ghost. Or in this case, it's just that little mannequin. The part that... So that's kind of like the scalable difficulty part of just like the analysis, the breakdown of just all of these different type of investigative, I guess, gameplay mechanics. And then finally, I also wanted it to be easy for players who don't know, maybe their friend has the game and they like it and they want to join in, if they just don't want to learn any of this. And that I still want to design it in a way where players can just enter the mansion, pick up documents, and then the documents will pretty much just give you the answer to what goes on those monitors. So rather than going and investigating and, you know, doing trials and experiments with the monster to learn, maybe on an easier setting, you'll just have a piece of paper that says, hey, it doesn't like rooms with light in it. And so then it's on the player to go, this piece of paper says it doesn't like rooms with light. I'll hit the build button on accident. It's up to them to go here and figure out what that means in relation to these monitors. That's going to be on me as a designer of the tutorial. I'm kind of taking a phased approach with it, but it will probably move kind of quickly. Also, I realized I wasn't showing you GIMP when I was doing that. Side question, where did your idea come from? Okay, I already read that one. Okay, so you have the idea, this is where I'm at, but how do you start? What is your process? Do you write a doc? Do you start with the environment? Do you make a demo? I would start with a document, if you can. I have a design doc of my own. It's been a while since I've pulled it out, but let me see if I have it. on this one. It's a really old, I think I actually showed you, because that was where the, one of the initial designs for Mari was. It was part of those slides. Here we go. Now, in all honesty, these slides came after I'd started working on it. And it was really only something that came into existence because I wanted to have something that was easy to share with the audience as they came in. And so kind of having it split up this way so that I could explain my game mechanics like this. But you don't necessarily need to have a design document. A lot of people will recommend it. Even I will probably recommend it. I've heard your game spiel. That's not what I'm asking. So how do you start? I would just say get into an engine. Open up the template. Try to, if you can, find a template that works good enough that's close to what you want. If it doesn't exist, try to at least get the character moving that fits whatever gameplay you want. From there, probably get a good, at least empty environment that would be kind of a good test place. Maybe a couple small assets, even if they're just like, you know, a cylinder for a barrel or something. And then maybe get one or two of the core mechanics in. Like if it has a gun, or maybe the gun does something special, like it changes the gravity of an item. Try to work on some of the major underlying architecture first. Yeah, start with character movement first. Because if you want to playtest something, you're going to need that character. Mechanics are the thing that are going to probably evolve the most over time. So getting a start on that early, I think is going to be good. Art is something that will evolve a lot over time too, but I feel like it's hard to know what some of the environments are going to... Like, I think the environments are the product of the mechanics of the game. A good example is, I don't think Phasmophobia works very well in the large open environments. Like the high school and the prison, they just don't work very well. Even though they might sound good on paper, that gameplay mechanic works best in small enclosed environments. And so if you put the cart before the horse, you might end up with something that just doesn't feel good, and end up with a lot of work that just isn't useful, or at least doesn't feel right. Another thing too is don't be afraid of redoing things again and again. I mean, I've showed this all of the time of the old AI system that Mari had. Mari being one of like the monsters, and we can pull that up real quick for anyone who's new. The first Hunter AI controller. How do you feel about demos? I have quite a unique idea. I think so. It probably needs to be tested, but there is a part of me that really doesn't want to make a demo because I'm putting in the effort. But I want to put in the effort for a finished product, if that makes sense. Guess that's like a mental block. I think it depends on your scope. If the distance between what a demo would be and the final product is like, let's say, half a year, then sure, just wait until you have the final product. But if realistically it's going to be longer than that, you're going to want that feedback, because you're going to want to be able to fold any of that feedback in to your game. That's why I stream a lot of this stuff, is because even though y'all don't have hands-on with it yet, there are a lot of things that you guys leave feedback on, like the monitors tonight. There was a lot of back and forth that we had with what feels good, what feels weird, what color combinations don't quite work. Oh, and this is the old AI controller. Like, I initially was trying to make it all nice and clean, and then this started to happen because I wanted to add audio sources to it. And I was like, okay, this is a mess. I need to like completely redo how I'm managing her AI. And so that entire bubble, I consolidated down to this file and this file. And all the green lines of text are just, they don't do anything. This is much easier for me to read. And it's also much easier for me to add on to because I can just make a copy of this file. And that's all I need to do. I can make a change to this else if block for something new. So like when I make the cheese mechanic, I just have to change what's inside this little block of code right here. Everything else is structured to be exactly the same. And so it's much easier than trying to go back in my old design. Yeah, the buttons are better. Yeah. This is weird because that's like an aspect ratio thing. There's a way to fix it to where it always is the correct aspect ratio, even in the weird editor. I just haven't done it. Hodin's told me before, and I just keep forgetting to fix it. I feel really weird about making stuff without the art. It's weird, like I really don't want to make block stuff first. Okay, I can understand that. Then I would say make the art, but don't make it perfect. If, you know, for the Halloween game that I made, a lot of the art just wasn't great. Like, so many of the things were stretched out and looked weird because I just wanted it to be in there, like the walls or the arches. I made them so I could have something to look at, something that looked nice. But if you look closely at those, you know, that game, you'll notice almost none of those arches are the same size because I didn't space them out correctly. So if your workflow is going to be better by having some art there, then sure. There's also still all of the free art on, I need to promote this link more, but the Fab Store. I think it's in Unreal Engine 5. Yeah, here it is. Limited time free. I wonder what's free this week. Okay, here we go. We have a graveyard kit. All of this stuff is free, and I would recommend adding this to your cart now and checking out, because you have until 9 a.m. tomorrow. I need to do this. I need to do it. These are here too. And there's also just a lot of full-time, unlimited time free stuff on Fab that you can totally use. I'm in Unity, so you won't use any of that. You can use these in Unity. Right down there, see? Unity. That's why it's the Fab store now, as opposed to like the Unreal store. Like this one's Unreal Engine exclusive, but this one is Blender, Unity, Unreal, FBX, OBJ. Of course, I'm not saying that people should be using these. Like, if it's not part of your workflow, it's not part of your workflow. But it is definitely a good resource to have, and I'm gonna going to take advantage of it right now before I forget. Let's see. Stop forcing me to use them. No, you have to. You have no choice. In any way, shape, or form. Alright, I'm gonna throw that up on the screen. I'm gonna chat for a little while up until I can get these fab assets for myself. Because if I wait until even after stream, I'm probably going to forget. One of the reasons I forget is like it doesn't remember my sign-in info, and then I have to use like the dual like two-factor authentication every single time, and it's just kind of annoying. I tell it to remember device, and it just never does. Is it too personal to ask what kind of products do you work on in your day job? Yes, I won't talk about that. Nothing personal against why I'm not talking about it, but it is a fair question, but not one that I will answer, sorry to say. Okay, I have acquired the free stuff. I am gonna get some sleep. I will hopefully see some of you on Wednesday. I don't know what's up with the Discord thing, but Wednesday at 7 PT. He's the FNAF suit repairman, obviously. Yes, yes. And then, if for those of you who can't make it, hopefully, the 11 a.m. on Saturday PT is easier for you to drop in on. If this is kind of the standard in the future, where this is kind of like the new weekly, the Saturdays are a little bit more subject to getting canned. A lot of people I know like to do things last minute. And so I don't know if those will always be times for me. But so long as it's up there and so long as I'm not pinging anything contrary in the schedule pings, that's going to be the time. So have a good night. I will see you all at some point during the week. And if I don't see you, I hope you had a good night, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. All right, have a good night.